visual problems are one of the most common symptoms in patients with MS. I think virtually like all of them will have some visual dysfunction during the course of the disease. So it's really important to understand the vision and how the vision symptoms arise in those patients. And we, by focusing on one system, we really can have a good understanding of how it works. I think the vision, it's cool to study vision because the pathway is well studied, it's well understood. There are many aspects of the vision that we can study. For example, in this data set, we first are just looking at delayed responses, but we can also study different types of visual responses. We can look at color function, we can look at contrast detection, and some of those functions are altered in MS patients. So color, vision, contrast detection are altered in patients. So if we really dig deeper into specifics of a function, I think we'll have a better understanding of how the whole system gets deranged in the disease, how it changes in the disease. So I think it's very important to be really focused on a system that we know well, that we have a pathway that we can study, because that will give us insight in how other systems work as well, right? If we really understand how vision symptoms arise, that likely it's going to be similar for other dysfunctions in MS, right? Like if you're studying motor systems or if you're studying cognitive dysfunction. But we really have a good handle on the vision pathway. We know how it works. We know it's a long pathway that is very well myelinated. So it's very interesting in the context of our study. So because we're studying demyelination. That's why we focus on a vision in our studies. Everything I said here is basic sciences. We really are trying to understand the mechanism and how things can change. And there are of course, many other scientists. They're doing studies that we're basing our studies on, right? So it's all collaborative. Like we are definitely not the first ones to study remyelination therapies. There are many other people that have studied. We're not the very first to look at visual function, but we're looking at it in a different way, and we're looking at it in a arguably more detailed way that people have looked before with our techniques of microscopy and neuronal recordings. But the work of everybody is building on each other and helping the whole group move forward, and hopefully for a cure for MS, that we could really understand how the disease arises and what we can do to modify it and even stop it.